All right, welcome back, guys. This is either week 10 or 11. I actually got to do a better job of keeping count of the videos, but nonetheless, we're committed to making them every week. As we say, that was the goal this year. So as you can see today, I'm actually going to do some walking later on in the video, but I'm actually at the lake. So far, I've been here about 10-15 minutes, and I've seen a gator. Yeah, it's still there. So I've seen a gator sitting out here in the marsh. I don't know. Right there's actually a live alligator sleep. And then I saw a baby alligator up in here. That's actually on the move. And I saw a snake. So a lot of wildlife in this water. But anyways, let's get into the topic of today's video, which is focus, distractions, and seasons of separations, right? And so when you're looking to earn a high income, right, and for most of us that's six figures, but I always like to remind people that, you know, six figures starts at 100,000 and it ends at $999,999, however you say that, right? I don't know why I struggle with saying that number. 900,000, 99,999. I don't know why that's so. I don't know why it's a tongue twister for me or why I struggle with that. But anyways, a dollar short of a million is another way you could say it. But that's a huge range there, right? There's over $900,000 range there, right? And there's a big scale in that. But for the purpose of this channel, I would say high income will start somewhere around 250,000 and go up from there, right? Not just literally 100,000, because I believe 100,000 is still too tiny in today's economy, today's world, right? Especially with some of the higher cost of living areas in America. So focus, right? So I mean, obviously I'm going to have to demonstrate that a little bit more today, because you can tell we've got some distractions there, and I wouldn't call people distractions, but right, you know, we're recording a video and people are living their lives, right? They're not here to support or distract from it, they're just living their lives, right? So got to be a little more focused for this video. But focus, so earning a high income, especially if you've never done it before, or if you're going to do it outside of, let's say, your typical 9-to-5 job, which is the point of this channel, then it's really gonna take a high level of focus, especially the first time that you pursue this, right? Especially if you've never earned that anywhere before in your life. So with sales, because that's what we love to focus on, you're really going to develop some new skills. And one of the big realizations that you can have, well, it's got a big squirrel crossing my path here too, but one of the big realizations I had is that earning a high income is actually a skill set, right? So it's like riding a bike or learning to speak a new language. It's not something that's pie in the sky. It's not something that you need Uncle Sam to have a different policy. It's not something about, you know, the mayor needs to give us a different tax break or anything like that. It's literally just a skill set, and mastering that skill set and then applying that skill set. That's the difference, right? And so like learning a new language or learning to play a new instrument, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some dedication. It's going to take some practice. It's going to take some focus, right? And so society, I think social media as a whole, does a great job in selling us on this idea of balance. And the idea of balance year round, you know, throughout life, as if that is a reality for high level producers or highly successful people. It's not. There are periods of extreme focus, and then there's periods of, you know, less focus, right? But for each level that you're going to reach, whether it's 200,000, 500,000, 1 million, 10 million, right, 100 million, and beyond, it's going to take a certain season of extreme focus and eliminating distractions in your life to get to that new level of income, especially if you haven't done it before, right? It's going to take some focus. And so a lot of us, I think it was Napoleon Hill talks about this magnificent obsession, right? Literally being obsessed with accomplishing your goal, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean that you forget about everything else in life, but it means that you are going to eliminate essentially everything that's non-essential, if you will, in your life, right? So kind of like back in the pandemic, right? There was essential services and there was non-essential services. So everything that was non-essential was shut down, right? And who determined that? You know, that's debatable whether they were right or wrong. But you're gonna have to do that inventory in your life, right? And you're gonna have to look at what are you doing with your 24 hours every day, and what are you doing with your weeks? You know, with your free time, right? What's most important, right? Is it watching the football game? Is it watching the NBA game? Is it going to the concerts, right? Is it clubbing at night? Or is it watching your favorite TV show? Or is it maybe reading a book, listening to an audio? Is it maybe practicing your sales calls, right? Practicing your scripts, getting better at it, you know, learning new objection handlers, right? What's the best use of your time? And then we've got to decide what goals to pursue and not pursue. So I'll give you examples. Like for me, I know that eventually I want to earn, and I don't know that's going to be in a single year, but eventually I know I want to build a company that I can sell for at least 9 figures. So at least $100 to $300 million is what I have in mind for a long-term goal. Now with that, I used to actually, and I do play the drums, but I used to actually have this idea that maybe one day I could, you know, be a super cool professional drummer and, you know, tour the world as a drummer. And when I mean tour the world, I mean like go on tour with the group, right? So something like maybe like a Maroon 5, right, would be a group that I'd love to play for as a drummer. But what I realized was that the time that it takes, yeah, I'm gonna start doing this walk thing. All right, it's the first time kind of walking with the handle. So if it looks weird, just let me know. Just again, just trying to get better at this channel, get better at this YouTube-y stuff. I think I'm a better talker than a videographer, but we're working on it. So actually, let me see if I can extend this a little bit, see if that's a little better. There's a better background so you can see more. But with that, again, me wanting to be a drummer on tour, that was going to take a lot of time and dedication to really master the drums, right? So there's one thing to play the drums, but there's another thing to be at the elite level of being able to do a whole bunch of different feels. Oh man, I don't even know if y'all can see this gator right here. We want to talk about distractions. There will be some distractions in this video, but let's see if I can see it. Yeah, he's actually right there. That's actually a little baby alligator. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to. It's not gonna be able to see it as well as I can, but it's pretty dope. But jumping back on focus. So when you talk about me wanting to be a professional drummer, right? That would require me probably about at least 3 to 4 hours a day, just practicing different drum rolls, different strokes, different feels. Memorizing a whole catalog of songs, meaning like whatever your favorite song, let's say Journey, I think it's Journey, forgive me if I'm saying the wrong group, but Journey, you know, Don't Stop Believing, right, that song. Well, as a drummer, if you're gonna be a professional, then you would be expected to know that beat and all of the common drum rolls and drum stops and hits. You would be expected to memorize that and just know that, right? So if we were out playing a gig at a club or just happen to be at a show on stage and somebody throws that on, you know, just as background or just to kind of sing along, it's a very popular song, everybody knows it. As a drummer, you're expected to just know that off the hat. You know, nobody's expecting to have to give you sheet music. Nobody's expecting you not to know that, right? And so as a drummer, you know, obviously you're gonna have rhythm, and you can give a beat that would match that song, but we're expecting you as the public to know that song exactly the way the original sounds and to play it exactly like how the original sounds, you know. And so that takes time, effort, focus. And so I realized that in order to reach my goal of, hey, hitting 9 figures, I'm gonna need a lot of time to learn how to do business and to build that business, right? And I don't have those skills yet. I've never done it before. So I had to make the decision that, you know what? I got to let go of that dream of being a touring drummer. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I just realized that the time I would spend on the drumming would be a distraction from the time that I could be learning how to master business, right? So that was the decision that I made. So that was a distraction that I eliminated because it's not in line with my bigger goal. And so you're gonna have to take inventory of your life and decide, and it may not necessarily be something that drastic, right? That's just an example of something I decided, but it may just be something simple as, hey, you know what? Maybe you play at a rec league at the park and you're like, hey, you know what? From now on, I can't play basketball with the guys at the rec league, right? Or maybe I can't, play at the volleyball tournament or the chess tournament that you normally do, right? Or maybe it's something you do at church, right? And I know most people think that might be a crime, but there may be a time when you go, you know what? I can't volunteer at church for all the after church activities that normally would be there, or normally, that would be going on that you would be supporting. You might have to take that time out for yourself and say, hey, look, you guys got to find someone else that can do it. I got something I'm working on right now. So that's really going to be a case by case, up to the individual. But that's going to be a distraction, or multiple distractions. Oh wow, there's a bunny rabbit here too. There's a lot of distractions here today, so it's a great point that we're making this video. Let me see if I can get you the rabbit here. Oh, where is he? Right there. Yep, that's a bunny rabbit. He's gonna run away. Oh wow, this guy's comfortable. Right here. Yeah, so maybe I'm Crocodile Dundee today as well. It's a whole rabbit there, and I mean, he is just rubbing like I'm not right here at all. Have a good old time. But yeah, so focus. What a great topic for today, right? Because we're doing this video as we walk through the park, and well, there's a ton of distractions here today, right? But we're gonna be focused and get this video done. But distractions. So I'm gonna talk about less commonly thought of distractions, right? So obvious distractions, people would say TV, right? But really, I don't know that anyone, I would say under 30, but definitely anyone under 40 really watches TV anymore other than live sports, right? But maybe you do watch TV shows, I don't know, maybe you don't. But with that, the TV shows, I would say social media, Instagram, Twitter, any one of those things. I don't know all the apps are, Snapchat, any of the social media apps that basically take up your time. It might even be your phone. You may not think of it, but just the people on your phone that maybe you call, or your group text that you, let's say, maybe talk to all the time. That may be a distraction. What else? The music that you listen to. That may be a distraction in your car. So you commute to work daily, or you commute to the office daily, then that 20-30 minutes that you spend listening to music, that might be a distraction. Might be time that you could be either practicing your presentation, you could be getting better at your scripts. That might be time that you could be using to listen to an audio book, right? So that could be a distraction, right? Any type of entertainment in my opinion. Now, you can go, of course, as extreme or not as extreme as you want. In my opinion, in the beginning, if you're going to go for 200 to 300K and you've never earned that before, then you should be a little more extreme than you think you need to be. I think you should be a little more militant than what meets the eye, because you just haven't done it before. And the largest change that you're going to see in your life is going to happen from going from 50K or 75K or 85K to 200 to 300K. That's going to be the most change in your life, right? Going from 300 to 600 or 700, that's not going to be as large of a change, right? That's where you're going to start to have some savings. That's when you're going to start to be able to invest a little bit more, and really start building some wealth. But the change in lifestyle that you're looking for is going to happen somewhere around 200 to 300K. That's where you're going to get out of the, sorry, there's a branch that hit me, but y'all know I'm in this lake area, so I had to make sure it wasn't a snake that bit me. But it was just a tree branch that hit my leg. So anyways, but that 200K, that's really what's going to be a life changer. 300K, that's really what's going to be a life changer. And when you learn how to earn that amount of money, you're going to be able to see further as far as how to get to 500 or 600 or a million very easily, right? There's only going to be a few tweaks, but the hardest transformation or the hardest change is getting you to earn that 200 to 300K outside of a job, right? That's going to be the biggest change. So I would say it's worth it to be a bit extreme, and to be a bit crazy, you know, with how focused you are, how locked in you are, because this is going to be life changing, right? And so it's worth it to eliminate all possible distractions and really to be a little more obsessive with earning that income, because like I said, it's just going to be life changing, right? This is not just some pie in the sky stuff. This is what's going to be able to change your zip code. It's going to be able to change the neighborhood you live in, the car that you drive, the vacations that you take, the way that you travel, and what you can provide for your family. So it's really worth it to be a little militant with that. Now, when we want to talk about, let's say, seasons of separation, right? What do I mean when I say season of separation? With earning a high income, it's always good to be around people in your field that earn the income that you want to earn. So in my case, as a realtor, there's always, man, my shoes are coming. I told you there's gonna be some distractions in this video at the park, but we're gonna get it done. In my field, you know, I'm always around and discussing and talking and masterminding with agents that make more money than me. So a lot of my mastermind groups, I've always been the lowest income earner in the group. So I'm saying again, always in my mastermind group, the lowest income earner in the group. So what that means is, man, hold on, let me see if I can get this. See him there. I'm try to get as close as I can to him without him running away. So if you see this little dot right there, that's actually a rabbit. It's pretty cool. Boom, there he is. He's coming in the picture. Look at that. Look at that ball. Just walk right up on the bunny rabbit. Little joker they just do not care. Look at that. It's like they know we gonna stick to the sidewalk or something. Ain't that crazy? Wow. This guy is just eating his whole little heart out, chewing on that grass. Oh, there you go. Did a little hop. But yeah, he just ain't paying me no mind. You know what I'm saying? He ain't worried about me at all. I don't know if that's good or bad, you know? But anyways, me as a realtor, I was always in mastermind groups. I was the lowest income earner. So in my personal life, I was the highest income earner that I knew, as far as just friends, church people, wherever I would hang out. But when it came to the mastermind group, I was the lowest income earner, right? So it was almost like I was apologetic, or not even I would say apologetic, but it was almost like I was ashamed to admit that I was earning 200 to 300K a year, rather than more, because all the people in my group earned more than that, right? And so that type of positive peer pressure where you feel like you need to earn more, you need to perform better, that's the type of environment you want to be in, right? Or that's the type of groups you want to associate with. Well, the flip side to that is, give me a second, the shoe is just, it's actually not even a shoe, I got one of these low no-show socks, it keeps coming off, so I think I'm just going to take it off. Done. But the thing about this is, there's people in your life that you care about, that you love, that don't necessarily support your vision of a higher income, So when you look at a high income, you think, it's possible, maybe I can do it, maybe I can learn it, but there's someone in either that's a family member or friend or some combination of it that goes, you're crazy, like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? What are you trying to become? You don't need that. And let's say that's just your mom or your brother or your cousin, right? Well, you don't need to necessarily cut that person off, but there may be what you call a season of separation may be what you need. And what I mean by that is there may be a time where you might have to tell your brother, like, hey, look, man, and maybe you don't even need to tell him, to be honest. You might just have to do it. There might be a time where you might have to spend a little less time with your brother for 5 or 6 months, right? I call it the season of separation, where maybe if it's your mom or your dad or close family member, you go, okay, not that you're gonna not talk to your mom or dad for 6 months, but maybe you don't mention your new sales, or maybe you don't give them week to week updates or progress reports, or maybe when they ask about it, you just let them know. You say, hey, right now I'm kind of sensitive on the topic, or that's just something I will not discuss until I get further along, because I'm really in a place where I need all the positive energy I can have. I need all the focus that I can have, right? And so I don't really need any negative talk about it right now, right? It might be a conversation you have to have, or you just might have to do it. I know for my personal self, a lot of my family and friends, I'm not going to say that they were anti-high income, but they certainly didn't see a high income as an important thing in life. Meaning, once you're making 70, 80K, they feel like you're doing pretty good, So they didn't really feel like you needed to make 200 to 300K, or you needed to make $500,000 or $1 million. They just felt like that was, me just being very ambitious. And so for me, I stopped talking with my family about my income goals. I just wouldn't bring it up. And that's what worked for me. For friends, I pretty much cut off any friends that weren't really on that path. And when I say cut off, I basically eliminated the communication. Now, that doesn't mean that if they called and say, hey, how you doing? I wouldn't say, hey, man, I'm fine. How are you? I don't mean by that. But what I mean is, as far as spending time, like, going to hang out, right? I'm not going out, to the ballpark to hang out all weekend and play basketball. That's not allowed with my goals right now, and where I'm trying to go. So I would have that season of separation with the people, or with friends, So let me see if I can get this in the back. It's pretty nice. But yeah, that would be. Actually, let's see if I can get a better background here. But those friends, that weren't really trying to get to where I was in life, they would still go out and party or go chase females or do whatever they do. But I just wouldn't be doing it with them. I wouldn't be spending time with them because I was focused on getting to a higher income, right? So that season of separation might be what you need for those people that are close to you or have regular access to you. You might have to give them that season of separation in order to accomplish the high income goal that you have, right? It's not always fun, not always easy to do, especially if it's someone that you love and care about. But what I can tell you, especially in this takes me down to a different path, but when you talk about earning a high income, especially when you talk about getting beyond 200-300K, something that a lot of people don't talk about is you're starting to become a 1%er, whether you realize it or not. Now I know social media makes it seem like everybody but you is earning $1 million a year and everybody's got, a Lamborghini and everybody flies private and everybody's got a mansion and everybody's got passive income of, $20,000 a year and, everybody did it in 2 or 3 years and that was that. But the reality is that's not how most of America lives. The reality of it is the majority of Americans have about $1,000 in savings. Most of them are only 1 or 2 paychecks away from being out on the street or from, not being able to pay their bills, right? That's the reality of most of America, despite what social media may show. So when you're talking about earning a 200 to 300K a year income or more, a high income, you're really talking about getting into the top 5, 10% of America, and you're really talking about being one of the top income earners in the world, right? If you think about it, if you step back and think about it, most people in the world do not earn over $100,000 a year. So you're really talking about being the best in the world, whether you realize it or not, So why do I bring that up? Because there's just not a lot of people, one, that are interested in that, especially in the US, even though it may seem like that on social media. There's just not a lot of people that are interested in learning how to earn a high income and what it takes. There's a lot of people that want a high income and understand the difference between the two. There's a lot of people that will strap up a helmet and go play on, I don't know what that was, but y'all know there's a lot of stuff in this water, so I gotta make sure that, make sure ain't nothing rolling up on me, and make sure when these gators don't come up out of that water too fast and try to have me for dinner or for lunch. But when you talk about, let's say, Super Bowl Sunday, right? There's a lot of us, myself included, that would love to run out of a tunnel and have a helmet on and have a jersey on, and that would love to play 60 minutes of football on the biggest stage, right? And possibly win, right? There's a lot of people that would love to do that. But that's like the highlight reel, right? That, and not even every great athlete, even that made it in the NFL, that was or is a Hall of Famer, even gets that. Like, you look at someone like Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders never won a Super Bowl, and I'm not sure if he ever even got to play in one. You look at someone like Calvin Johnson. I'm not even sure he ever got to play that. Now, why do I bring this up? Because that is the highlight reel. But where's the real work that's required to put you in position to even get an opportunity to do that? It's the day after Super Bowl Sunday, the week after Super Bowl Sunday, right? one of the greatest receivers in the NFL, Jerry Rice. And I'm going on a slight tangent here, but stick with me because I'm going to bring it home for you. But one of the greatest receivers to ever play the game was Jerry Rice. He owns a lot of the records, and if he doesn't own it still, he's still in the top 2, top 3 of all the NFL record books when it comes to receiving stats. And one of the stories about Jerry Rice is that right after they won the Super Bowl, the very following week, a lot of his teammates were going back to the stadium to clean out their locker for the off season, right? To go on vacation, to go to Disney World, whatever. And they're like, there's this guy at the stadium running routes. After winning the Super Bowl, the very next week, when everybody else is going to celebrate, what's one of the best, greatest receivers to ever play the game? What's he doing? He's out there running routes. He's not on vacation. He's not out celebrating winning a Super Bowl. He's putting in the work to get ready for the next season, to be better than he was the previous season, so that they can make it back to the Super Bowl again. That's what he's doing. And what I can tell you is there's a lot of people that would love to be him, would love to be in his shoes on Super Bowl Sunday and play well and score a couple of touchdowns and put him on the ring and maybe get an MVP award. But if you take that number of people, which is, a huge number, and you say out of that, how many of them would like to be Jerry Rice the week after the Super Bowl in the stadium by yourself, running laps, running routes? It's a lot smaller number, right? It's a much smaller number of people that actually want to be Jerry Rice the week after the Super Bowl, out there putting in the work to be great. And so when I tell you about earning a high income, it's the same thing as like that Super Bowl Sunday. There's a lot of people that want the $200,000 to $300,000 a year. There's a lot of people that want to earn $500,000 a year. There's a lot of people that want to earn $1 million and beyond. But now when it talks about actually putting pen to paper and actually starting to do the work, right? And starting to make the phone calls, the sales calls, and learning how to make the presentation, or whether it's knocking door to door, or whether it's creating a YouTube channel, or whether it's marketing yourself online, whatever it is that you're gonna do, then it's not sexy, right? Because now you don't get a paycheck today, or the first week, or the first 2 weeks, or the first month, right? Or maybe you don't make as much as you thought, right? Or maybe your momentum doesn't take off as the way it should, right? So you really are going for a elite level of performance when you talk about earning a high income. So how do I bring all of that up? And why, go on that tangent about what you're really doing? It's because when you start talking about season of separation and eliminating distractions, sometimes people is the hardest things, right? It's easy to listen to a podcast, especially if it interests you. It's easy to listen to an audiobook, but it's not always easy to cut off your family, or to separate yourself from your family, or to separate yourself from your friends. And if you're anything like me, a lot of times you want to bring people that you care and love along with you, right? You want your brother to be beside you. You want your cousin to be beside you. You want your aunt, uncle, niece, nephew, that you see the potential in them to do great things as well. You want them to be right alongside you. And what I have to share with you, which is a hard lesson for me to learn, very, very difficult lesson for me to learn, is that every person has to decide for themselves that that's what they want for their life. You don't get to decide. And it's the toughest pill to swallow, because we all want to help each other, especially, if you're ambitious, but you also got a giving heart, or giving personality, or just a caring heart. A caring personality, you're like, hey, I want to, I want somebody to come along with me, right? I see I'm learning this new material, I'm learning this new information, I'm going on this new journey. Come with me, brother. Come with me, sis. Come with me, cousin. Come with me, friend. And I will tell you, in most cases, I'm gonna say about 90%. I don't have the stats, but I'm just say based on my life experience, about 90%, maybe more, maybe 100% of the people that you want to come along with you, they're not gonna be willing to take that journey with you, right? So you're gonna have to make the decision that, hey, Either you're going to allow them to hold you back and you're going to wait until they're ready or until they think you can do it, or you're going to have to say, you know what, this is my time, this is my life. I'm going to do this with or without you. And looks like I'm going to have to do it without you. I don't hate you, I still love you. But I'm going to have to take some time and really focus on taking care of me and doing what I need to do to get to this next income level. And that means I'm not going to be able to spend as much time with you as I normally would. I'm not going to be able to make myself as available to you like I normally would, because I'm focused. I'm focused on developing this new skill. And I'm telling you all, that season of separation is so powerful, but it's actually one of the hardest things to actually do, because it's people that you care about, it's people that you love, it's people that I would say want what they think is best for you, right? So these aren't people that are your haters. Don't get it twisted. These aren't haters, right? This is your mom, this is your dad, this is your sister, this is your brother. They love you. These are the people that, if something happened to you, they're gonna be they're gonna be at your funeral. They're gonna be at your bedside at the hospital, making sure you're okay, or until you wake up or whatever. They're gonna be there. So these are not people that don't want what's good for you. It's just that your vision and their vision of what's possible with your life is just different. And now you're making a decision that you're gonna go pursue what you see in your mind that only you can see, and they can't see it. And so they're not necessarily maybe wanting to give you the support, or they just may not necessarily respect the process that it takes, right? It is no shade to them, because again, it's your vision, it's not theirs. So they're happy with earning 50, 60K, and that's okay. But you're trying to figure out how to make 600K, 10x what they're earning. So you're not going to be able to do the same thing that they do on a day-to-day basis and earn $600,000. It just doesn't work that way, right? And conversely, they can't do what you do on a day in and day out basis and continue to earn 60K. It doesn't work. So you guys got to live two different lives. And so for a time, you're going to have to separate and give them that space, and that's okay, but it's tough to do. But when you can give them that separation, right, you can walk away from that, then you'll be able to get to a place later on where now, once you've done it a couple years in a row and you've built that skill, now you'll be able to do 3, 4, 5, or $1 million in your sleep. Then you can come back, right? Then you might be able to spend more time than when you were building, right? Because high income is in phases, right? In the beginning, it's really tough. You have to spend a lot of time. You got to spend a lot of focus. You're building up a database. You're building up a skill set. You're building up referrals, right? You're building up a network of people that can help you accomplish this. But then by year 2, 3, 4, you already know what you're doing. You're confident in what you're doing. You got systems in place. You got your leverage set up. And then from there, you can start to down back. You start to have more control over your time. And so from there, that season of separation, now you can come back, and maybe those people that didn't believe in you, or maybe they just couldn't see it, maybe they might want to participate. Or if nothing else, you'll know how to manage your time better, to where when you do spend it with family and friends, it's not going to distract or take away from what you've got going on with earning a high income or getting to the next income level, right? So you'll be able to understand what needs to be done. Because then you'll know how to focus, and you'll know how to eliminate distractions. Alright, so I don't know if I can get that bird in there. Yeah, you can't see it. Oh, a little bit, maybe. Just see it moving around just a little bit above my head. Yeah. Really dope. But yeah, guys. Distractions, focus, season of separation. You gotta eliminate those distractions if you're gonna earn a high income. And really, I would say long term, distractions is just that, right? One of the things that I'm working on, and this channel is a part of it, is being a producer, right? So when I talk about distractions, more times than not, distractions are just entertainment. It's either entertainment or it's, I guess to say, mostly it can be wrapped up into entertainment. It's either entertainment in a sense of, sports, TV, whatever, or it's something that you do to pass the time away because you don't have something more productive to do, right? So if you were working 120 hours a week, I promise you wouldn't spend much time watching TV or scrolling YouTube, Instagram, because, at the end of the day, as soon as you're done working, you want to go home, sleep, or maybe eat, sleep, take care of whatever, I guess you could say life things that you have to take care of, and then you're going to want to get to bed before you have to get back to work, right? So you're really going to be focused on that. You're not going to have time to really entertain yourself, right? But if you're only working 40 hours a week, and I do mean only working 40 hours a week, that's standard for everybody in America, mostly, right? It's not anything special. Then you have a lot of time to play. Most of you, if you work only 40 hours, that means you work Monday through Friday. You got Saturday and Sunday off. You have most evenings off. You have a little bit of time for yourself in the morning. You typically have an hour lunch, and you more or less know your schedule. So you have a lot of time that you can plan in there, right? So distractions. You're gonna be a high producer. You're really going to have to learn to operate from a schedule. You're really going to have to learn how to plan out your day, plan out your week in advance. I would say at minimum, plan week to week in advance. And that is going to help you stay focused. So one of the tools that I've noticed, not just from myself, but from every top producer, every high income earner, and that's whether it's CEO, corporate America, business owner, I'm talking billionaires, all the way down to just your high level salesman, right? Because I think kind of like where I'm at and where the next step above me is like entry level into high level production, which is the 200-300K income range as a salesperson, individual salesperson. Maybe you might have one assistant. That is really the entry level or the first step to being, I guess you could say, a high producer, a high level producer. Everyone I know that produces at a high level from there and up, they all have what's called a calendar, a schedule, a daily calendar that they follow that tells them, hey, what time to wake up, what time to eat, what time they work, what time they do follow-up, what time they're gonna have lunch, just like your job, and what time to end the day as well. And so with that, one of the best ways I found to eliminate distractions is to put in there whatever fun you're gonna have too. Now, Gary Keller wrote this book called The One Thing, and I think one of the best things he put in there, and there's a lot of different strategies as to how to plan out a day, schedule a day. You can look these things up and decide which works best for you, or try multiple ones and go with the one that you can stick to. But one of the ones that Gary Keller says is you put your fun down first. So you put your vacations down, you put the ball game you do want to go to. Maybe your kids got soccer on Saturdays, or I don't know, maybe you got date night with your wife or husband on Tuesday, whatever it is, those important things that are non-negotiable that you still got to do in life. Maybe it is fun, maybe it's just something that's mandatory, or maybe it's just something that's vitally important that you go, no matter what comes, I don't want to miss, having date night with my wife, right? Doesn't matter how much money I make if I'm divorced, right? Or if I don't have a family, right? Or maybe you go, hey, it doesn't matter how much money I make if I miss out on, my kids' soccer or basketball or daddy-daughter date or whatever it is, right? Some of those things are non-negotiables, right? Because you can't get those things back no matter how much money you make, right? So you put those in your calendar first. And then from there, you put in your work schedule. You decide, hey, I'm gonna work from 9 to 5. Hey, I'm gonna work from 9 to noon. Hey, I'm gonna work from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And so now you have a calendar, a schedule to follow so that every day you know what you're supposed to be doing. And barring, obviously sometimes life happens, you get a flat tire, some days are off, but ideally, one of my mentors, Mike Ferry, he says, If you can follow your schedule 80 to 85% of the time, then you should be highly successful. And so when you build your schedule out and you can follow that 80, 85% of the time, then you should be producing at a very high level for whatever your goals are. And you will be earning a high income. And notice I said you will be, not most likely or maybe, you will be, right? So that calendar is your key to eliminating a lot of distractions that can come up in your life. So now, when somebody asks you out to dinner, somebody says, hey, let's go to the park, let's go to the ball game, you can pull out your calendar, you can look at your schedule, and you can look at it and go, hey, no, I've already got an appointment during that time. Or you go, hey, actually, I can schedule that for next week, Thursday, you know, because Thursday afternoon is my free afternoon to do whatever I want, and we can meet at 2 on Thursday afternoon. But if you can't meet then sorry, I just can't make it because Thursday is my free day. So, actually, I'm over here in this little marsh area where I was before, and I'm noticing the gator that I saw earlier is gone. He is long gone. So yeah, he's moved on to deeper waters. Yep. But yeah, you can look at your schedule, you can look at your calendar, and then you can go, hey, meet me at this time, or I'm available at this time, or I'm not available at this time. And that makes it a lot easier for you to tell people yes or to tell people no, because, well, now you've got your calendar. So that's another great way I found to eliminate distractions and to make sure that you stay focused. So, yeah, I think that's about everything, guys, for focus, distractions, season of separation. But just know that you don't have to always have this extreme level of focus. But for the first 3 months, I'll say 6 months, 9 months, a year, or basically until you get there, you're gonna need a extreme level of focus. And then once you reach that new level of income, then you can kind of take your foot off the gas, relax. And I don't really mean like relax, but you don't have to be as intense because now you have a better idea of what you're doing. So it's just like learning to ride a bike or drive a car. You know, in the beginning, you gotta be really focused. You gotta really pay attention to what you're doing. You're trying to figure out how to stay balanced. You're trying to figure out, you know, how to drive the car, or how to keep the bicycle from falling over, and keep yourself from falling over and hurting yourself, right? But then after a while, you're riding the bicycle with no hands on the handlebars, right? And then you find yourself, now you're listening to music, right? Now you can throw somebody else on the handlebar, just standing up on the pegs, or maybe you even popping a wheelie now and you're riding on one tire when before you couldn't even ride on two. You know, now you're riding on one. And if you're really skillful, now you're making the bike jump on one tire, right? So it's the same thing with earning high income. In the beginning, you really got to be focused. You really got to be locked in on what you're doing. And then as you get better at each income level, then it becomes easier. You can do more and you can earn more while still being able to play a little bit more. And that's what you're seeing with your elite level business owners and builders and salesmen, is that they can take more time off, produce more at the same time, right? So that's really what's happening there. So guys, thanks for making it to the end of the video if you made it. We appreciate your feedback. Thank you guys that are following. I didn't check my subscriber count this week, but I imagine it probably went up a little bit. So definitely appreciate your feedback. Definitely appreciate you all liking the video. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. Because again, here for the long haul, I want to help you guys get to where I'm at and beyond. And as I grow, I'll be able to give you more. So, but I plan to be here another 5-10 years from now. So the goal this year is 52 videos. So we're about 1/5 of the way through. So still got a long ways to go, but we made it through the first quarter and we're still alive and well recording. So appreciate your support. Again, like I said, just let me know what you guys like, don't like, what you want to hear about, your thoughts, any questions you may have. Until next week, you guys take care. All right.